The Electric State has dropped on Netflix, so let's talk about it.
15 grand.
Is it loaded?
Yes, sir.
Well, then I'll pay the tip.
After the war with the robots ends, Michelle loses her parents in a car crash and her brother goes missing. And then she finds a robot who knows where her brother is, and they get lost in the Electric State and have to try and survive and learn what really happened to her brother. This is directed by the Russo brothers, starring Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. It's a huge cast, man. There's so many other actors and actresses in here, but the two main ones are Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. So, is this just another generic Netflix movie, or is it something new that the Russos gave to us? Let's find out and get to the review. Let's go. Please let me know, did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? Did you love it? Please let me know what you thought of The Electric State in the comments. Also, all the reviews I do are spoilers, so if you don't want to go spoilers, go watch the movie, then come back and watch this video. Also, I have a lot of content on my channel. Check those out once this video is done. We're kicking off things with the positives. The first positive, actually, cut to the chase here. I will not be talking about the positives for long here. If you've been watching the reviews out there on YouTube and stuff, they all said it, and including me. There's some people out there who love this movie, and that's great for them. But the majority of people who've seen this movie, including me, the film sucks. Alright? I can't hold it in any longer. I just finished the movie like 20 minutes ago. The film sucks, and it disappoints me to say that because I was excited for this movie. But yeah, it sucks. Yeah, but we're not talking about the negatives here. We're talking about the positives. So I'll try not to go into negative territory, but I don't know, man. I'll try not to, alright? So the first positive I have here is I think that the film is a well-made movie. What do I mean? I like the robots, they look good. Now, the designs of, like, there's a Mr. Peanut, like, there's this girl who cuts hair, there's, like, a passport lady. Like, that is just stupid, man. That's one of the most disappointing parts of the movie, and I just went into negative territory. But I had to, man. Like, the designs of the robots, like, for, like, the bad side, like the bad team or whatever, like how the people have to put on the masks and stuff. Those robots I actually found really cool. The others, there's like a Mr. Peanut and stuff, like I already said, really bad designs. But the robots visually look good, kind of like Transformers, although Transformers look a lot better in the movies. And their movies themselves are like 100 times better than the Electric State. But again, the robots, like visually, there's some tall ones. They all look good. Again, not the designs, but they look good. Alright, and I think like some of the shots in the movie look good. So that's my first positive. Another one is the action sequences. I think that there's like 2 or 3 that I actually enjoyed. There's one closer to the end where they're still in the Electric State, and some of the like people, how they have to put on the masks and stuff. They're hunting down this specific robot, and they come, and it's kind of a cool battle sequence. Or action sequence. I kind of liked it. I somewhat enjoyed it. That's when the movie was like at its best. Was okay action sequences, but I enjoyed them for the most. And the ending one, final fight where like everyone's battling at that like place in Seattle where Michelle, played by Millie Bobby Brown, is going to find her brother in there. Apparently they're keeping him captive or something. And she goes into his mind, and then he says like, "I'm ready," because I'm pretty sure he has cancer because his head's shaved or whatever. So I don't know. I don't think they did that. I think he has cancer. But anyway, he says, "Pull the plugs and just kill me. I want to die because I know what they're doing to me." So then she does that and stuff, and it was trying to be an emotional moment. It wasn't for me. I was just rolling my eyes at the scene. I was rolling my eyes for half the movie. Come on. I wasn't at that specific scene. I thought it was probably one of the best scenes in the movie, but the scene still sucked. Anyway, when it's outside and all the robots are battling, that was somewhat enjoyable. Like I said, so enjoyable fight scenes. The movie looks good. That is absolutely it. That is all my positives that I'm thinking about. And again, I just finished the movie like probably now, like 30 minutes ago, and that's all the positives I can think about. So let's just head to the negatives. Let's go. The first negative things I have for this movie is, it pains me to say it, but the cast. Now, as I said before, I was excited for this movie. Like I was pretty excited for this movie. One, because it's directed by the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers are not one of my favorite directors of all time, but I mean, if I had to do like a top 10 list, they would actually probably be in it. So they've made some pretty amazing stuff. They did Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I think is a great film. It's an 8 out of 10 great action film, one of the best action films in the entire MCU. Captain America: Civil War, which I think is an amazing film. It's in my top 5 favorite MCU films. I love Civil War. And they did Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, which is 2 films that I absolutely love. And they would be up there if I had to make like a top 10 list of favorite comic book movies. They'd be up there because those 2 films are just like near masterpiece films. And I do not throw that word around a lot, masterpiece, but Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame are just, they're close there. If not, they are. So they did all 4 of those films. And so that's great. But then outside of the MCU, they did a movie called Cherry, which I barely know what it is. But I guess it's starring Tom Holland, and I guess it sucked. It came out back in, I think, 2021. And yeah, I guess it sucked. Comment down below if you know what Cherry is, because I barely know what it is. All I know is it's starring Tom Holland, and it came out back in 2021. That's all I know. And then they came out with The Gray Man, which I actually have seen, but for my first time, I watched it, I think like a week ago. I was just scrolling through Netflix, and I watched the trailer that actually looked really good. I watched it, and it was actually a really good film. I don't know what people are talking about. So The Gray Man is definitely their best film outside of the MCU. So yeah, I was happy with The Gray Man. I mean, I wish it was like a little bit better, but still. Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, they were great in the film. Action was great, so I was happy with that movie. And then they go to the Electric State. And the Electric State actually, I think, finished filming back in like 2023. So why is this movie coming out now? It should have come out like maybe the summertime of 2024. But anyway, so outside of the MCU, they haven't been doing like great or anything. And what else is worrying is because after the Electric State, they're going to make Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which are 2 films that I'm out of this world excited for. And they're a big part of the MCU, so like I really don't want them to mess these 2 films up. And like going from the Electric State, which is a really bad movie, and now you're going to 2 Avengers films, given the keys to go to them, suspicious. I don't know what to say to that. Like, I really don't want them to mess up here. But then I think again they did 4 amazing MCU films, so maybe they can just put back their charm again. Maybe they belong in the MCU. But whatever. Been talking about the MCU for too long. That's what they've done outside. So it sucks that the Russo brothers did this movie, and it's really bad. But yeah, now the cast, we got, as I said before, the 2 main actors, Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, which they were okay in the film. Like, it actually, like, I don't want to say it, but because Millie Bobby Brown, she is like one of my favorite actresses. She'd be like in a top 10 list. I love her in Stranger Things. I got the shirt right here. As you can see, I absolutely love Stranger Things, my favorite TV show of all time. And one of the best parts of that show is Millie Bobby Brown as Eleven. So she's amazing in that. She is great in the 2 Enola Holmes movies. But other than Stranger Things and Enola Holmes, she's not, like, I don't know, she hasn't been doing that well. I mean, in the Godzilla and Kong universe, she was in 2 of those films and she was alright in them. And then Damsel, bad movie, but she was alright in it. So, I don't know what's going on here, and again, she's okay in the Electric State. I think she's better than Chris Pratt, but it's not a competition. They're both okay in it, and that's that. Sorry. We got some other like voice actors for some of the robots. We got Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie in there, which I didn't even know they were in the film. Like, I mean, I knew who Anthony Mackie was, so I was like watching the film. I was like, "Come on, Anthony Mackie, where are you?" And then it just doesn't appear, and I'm like, "What?" And then I look at the end credits, and it says Anthony Mackie was, I forget the robot's name, but it's like the best friend of Chris Pratt's character. And I was like, really? Like, I did not believe it. But yeah, he was there. And Woody Harrelson, I was surprised that he was in the movie. He was one of the voice actors for another robot. I think the Peanut guy. What else? Who else? We got Ke Huy Quan in here. I might have pronounced his name wrong. I'm not totally sure. Ke Huy Quan. Alright. Sorry. But he's in the film. Great actor. I was happy to see him in there, but I was disappointed because they didn't give him much screen time. So I'm like a 2-second part in the beginning, and then we see him again for like maybe 8 minutes, and then they kill him off. So sad that he had to go so early. And then we got sorry if I pronounce his name wrong. Giancarlo Esposito, I think that's his name. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Let me know in the comments. But he was in the film. He was probably the best actor of the entire film. He was great. Yeah, he was great. He was one of those robot guys with like the masks and stuff. He was great. I should have put that in my positives, but he was actually good in the film. We saw him back in February in Captain America: Brave New World, and I was disappointed that he actually wasn't the main villain. The main villain was good, but I was disappointed that he like didn't have more screen time as his character because he was actually fun on screen. But anyway, he was probably the best actor of the entire film and one of the best parts of the movie. He was nice. He wasn't great, but he was good. And again, best actor in the film. I'm taking too long with the with the cast. But yeah, that's basically the entire cast. There's actually probably more. I just forgot because my brain just doesn't want to remember this movie. But yeah, that's the cast. All right, let's move on. Again, I mentioned in my positives. I try not to mention it, but in the positives, but I did. The designs of the robots, like I said, they visually look good. Like they don't look like fake. Or like you just notice the CGI there, and they look terrible. No, they actually looked really good. But the designs of the robots look terrible. What are we doing? Why do we have a Mr. Peanut character? Why do we have like an airport passenger girl? Why do we have like a barber one? Like that's so stupid and terrible. Nobody wants to see these stupid looking designed robots. Like they were just awful. Like literally, like on the bad team or whatever, the robots were, again, they put on the masks and stuff. They looked good. I actually liked the design there. But on the good team, like, the design for those, like, they sucked. Really, just sucked. So I hated the designs on the good side for the robots. And the whole plot really, just, I didn't like how Michelle, Millie Bobby Brown's character, is just looking for her brother. Like, that's like one of the most common things, and that's fine. She's looking for her brother. It turns out he survived. But then what they do with that, how like they're using his brain to like support this oh my gosh, support this business. That was just weird. I don't want, like, I would have liked it better if he was like lost in the electric state, not all the way into Seattle. Like, what was the point of going to the electric state? Like, you believe this robot that apparently was him. I shouldn't have done that, actually, because actually the robot is him. Sorry. But anyway, she's listening to him, and he leads her to the electric state, gets Chris Pratt's character and his best friend Robot, who's voiced by Anthony Mackie, all trapped in there, and then like they start learning clues about this, and then they actually go to Seattle. Like, come on, you could have went to Seattle in the first place. Kind of dumb. Also, actually, I forgot one of the cast members. He has like barely any screen time in the film, and I'm fine with that. But I noticed Jason Alexander is in there. If you don't know him, he's in Seinfeld, which is like a classic TV show. It's not like one of my favorite TV shows of all time, nowhere near that, but it's a funny, like dumb, funny TV show from like the 90s. It's a good TV show. So Jason Alexander is in there. He's also, I think, in Young Sheldon. Pretty sure. But anyway, he's in the movie for a little bit. He's like the foster dad of Millie Bobby Brown's character, Michelle. Anyway, I really want to finish talking about this movie. Yeah, that's pretty much all my negatives. Let me just think. Yeah, we also got that guy from Transformers: Age of Extinction, which is like an okay film. But I mean, I thought he was hilarious in that movie. He's like the main villain of this movie. I forget the actor's name, but he is in this film. He was okay, kind of almost decent, I guess. But yeah, like, you know what's funny? I was just like 10 minutes into this movie, I was just hoping that this movie would end. And like once the good robot started dying in the final battle, I was just like, yeah, just finish them off and let's get this movie over with. Like, it was just a waste of 2 hours of my life. What was I thinking? I'm trying to decide if it's worse than Back in Action, which came out back in January. Like, I don't know. I think Back in Action may be worse because that movie was just stupid. But yeah, that movie was like only like an hour and 40 minutes. This one is well over, like, it's like a 2 hour and 10-minute movie. Anyway, I've been talking about the negatives for a long time. Yeah, that's all my negatives. I actually probably have more. I'm just not thinking of them because I've said this 100 times. My brain just wants to get rid of this movie. But yeah, I probably have more negatives. I don't know. But let's just stop talking about the negatives. Let's get to the ratings. Alright, so I'm going to give The Electric State a 3 out of 10. This was just a really bad movie and disappointing, especially because the Russo brothers directed this. But yeah, just a really bad movie. One of the worst movies I have seen this year in 2025. I'll see you in the next one.